two ago, I asked my mother, what is the meaning of my name? And she responded to me with a short and witty reply, daughter of Mark. So I thought she was being funny with me. You know, she normally does that with me. So I asked again, no, seriously, what is the meaning of my name? And she replied in a monotonous voice, daughter of Mark. If anyone knows me, they would know that I am big on names and their meanings. Yes. A child's name carries their destiny. If you want to speak strength over your child, you will call them Gabriel or Gabriella. If you want to speak happiness into their life, you will call them Felicity. Not saying that they wouldn't be those things if you didn't call them that or name them that, but saying that calling them these names would steer them in that direction. So imagine my dismay when my mother told me my name meant daughter of Mark. It took me to a place where I didn't like to be. See, I hated to associate my dad and his identity with myself. And why, you may ask? It wasn't because he didn't love me, and it wasn't because he wasn't present in my life. The short and simple answer to that is that he is and was a pastor, which ultimately made me a pastor's kid. Something I've been for over almost 28 years of my life. The thing is, for a very long time, I did not know who I was because I was unwilling to accept what I was born into. Whenever I went to school and my parents would ask me, what did your dad do as a job? I would tell them he worked at Batelco, which he did, or I would steer the conversation in a direction that was feasible to me. Unfortunately, there's a lot of stigma on pastors' kids and expectations that are expected when people find out who we are. There's no middle ground, to be honest. It's either you're a goody two-shoes who makes no mistakes whatsoever and can't be remotely normal, or you fall under that category of kids who are the worst of the worst out there. I don't know where they got that from, but anyway, you are judged the minute this information is revealed. So to avoid myself being placed in any category, I completely removed the reality of who I was from my mind. And oh, the damage this did. I rejected this title so much that I threw myself into a place where, if asked, I would not be able to describe who I was to anyone. In fact, I pretended to be someone I wasn't for so long that I ended up having to battle insecurities, self-doubt, and a lack of identity in my adult life. I had no idea who I was. Today, when I think about my fixation of names and how they carry purpose and promises, I think of how I was named after my father, Mark, a name that means warlike, often associated with the god of war. And my dad is just like that. He is strong and not afraid to go to war on my behalf. He is firm in his beliefs and he walks with his head held high. And my parents chose to name me after him. And I just thank God it wasn't a name like Marquisha or something like that. I would not have been here. Marnique, daughter of Mark, which makes me a daughter of promise, that I will be firm and confident and courageous. This was spoken to me at birth, and I disregarded it for such a long time. And what's crazy is the reason that I am a lawyer by profession today is because I am a daughter of Mark. The reason I'm so confident before you and sure of who I am is because I am a daughter of Mark. See, the reason I am in Toastmasters today is because I am a daughter of Mark. See, Mark ensured that he spoke life into me every single day. Every weekend he would take me to Logos Harbor Bay, and I would purchase novels like Nancy Drew and the Hardy Boys, Midnighters, even the Twilight series. And I'm telling you now, Tim Edward, I don't want to hear anything after this. Okay? I had a collection that was probably worth a lot of money today. No thanks to my mother for making me give them away to younger kids. This weekly practice made me love reading and ultimately shaped the path that I was chosen to walk as an adult. Although we could not travel to far exotic places, he ensured that I was well educated and well read. By the time I graduated high school, I wanted to go into journalism. I saw this as my route towards becoming a novelist. Please don't ask me how, because I don't know. We made a deal that I would get my law and criminal justice degree from COB before I decided to pursue journalism. I really believe my dad saw something in me that I didn't see. But I did it without questioning because it was his money being spent, not mine. So who am I? I took his advice, and it was that degree that sent me on a journey of self-discovery. My path to becoming a lawyer was not an easy one, and I do not recommend it to anyone in here, unless you want to go through blood, sweat, and tears. I'm just saying. However, it was the path that I had to take to rediscover who Marnique was. It was this path that corrected my views on being a PK. It was this path that helped me to find pride in who I am. It is this path that helps me to operate and walk with ascendancy. It is this path that caused me to stand in confidence. I am proud of who I am. I am proud of who my father is, and I am proud of who he represents. Being Mark's oldest daughter is something that I am so proud to be. It has shaped my path in so many ways. To be a daughter of Mark to me is to be a daughter of promise, ultimately making me a daughter of destiny. My name is Marnique Knowles, and I am a daughter of Mark.